I didn't buy my first home because I made more money on paper. I bought it because a lender finally looked at how I actually make money. Okay, so if you're a business owner out there who's been told your tax returns don't work, perhaps you got to wait 2 to 3 years, this video might completely change what you believe about buying a home. So I grew up watching entrepreneurs work their absolute tails off and still get told no. So today I'm going to share with you how I bought my first house using my bank statements. If you've been told otherwise, that you can't qualify for a mortgage despite the hard work you've put in to earn income for your business and don't claim a ton on paper, this story is for you. So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather was a commercial appraiser. My uncle was an appraiser. He worked for himself. My grandparents also had a business. And then, of course, my dad, if you guys have heard on previous videos, he ran produce stands. We used to grow 94 acres of corn, an Exxon, a beer and wine store, a cash checking place. So much heart, hustle went into growing those businesses. Long hours, risking your life essentially without having that stability, no guarantee of that stability. So if you're out there, I commend you for being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, being self-employed. It is hard, right? And when it comes to buying real estate, they make it even harder. You have to fit in this box, conventionally speaking, where your income on paper isn't enough to be able to buy a home, to buy a second home, buy an investment property, and really diversify your wealth and grow your investments, okay? So my family, they built businesses from nothing, all right? And when it came to buy a home, the system said they really didn't make enough money. That being said, my father, we grew up $100 bills hanging out of his pockets. He made money, but on paper, the money wasn't really there in the government guideline sense for a traditional loan. They did what most business owners, smart business owners do, okay? They wrote off expenses, right? On paper, they looked broke. In real life, they were cash flowing. I watched that frustration for years, and eventually I lived it myself. I'm going to get vulnerable with you guys. So after my father passed, I ended up taking over his produce stand, his best location, okay? And the heart and hustle that went into that business, I seriously don't even know how my father did it. His health was deteriorating. He was working 12 to 14 hours, sourcing local produce from the best farmers in the area. And he built an amazing community selling this top of the line, top quality fresh produce. It was like a form of art for him. And I know you guys are out there putting in them long hours, risking everything for you and your family to grow your craft, build your craft, and be able to provide for you and your family. So the true villain here when it comes to buying real estate is the traditional mortgage system, not you as the business owner or borrower, okay? So hard work essentially doesn't work as an approval in a world that is traditional in calculating income on tax returns. All right. So traditional mortgages reward people who pay the most, Uncle Sam. This is what the government wants you to do. They want you to claim more income on paper so they can get their piece, right? And what smart business owners do is they write off as much as they possibly can. I mean, look at the richest of the rich. They're writing off so much, and they might only claim like $30,000 on tax returns. You know darn well they're making way more than that, or they wouldn't be able to survive. So if you're a business owner out there, once again, pat yourself on the back. I mean, you've put in the heart and hustle. You are cash flowing. You're bringing in income. But just because you're on paper, you don't claim a lot, doesn't mean you shouldn't be rewarded for that and be able to build your wealth through real estate. So if you are self-employed, the more disciplined you are with taxes, the worse you look to the bank or a traditional bank, okay? You're basically told, pay more in taxes for 2 years, then we'll talk. I've spoke to so many people that have tried to go to a traditional bank, Bank of America, JP Morgan, whatever it looks like, even a credit union. They literally say, we can't do anything for you. Not like a game plan of what comes next, what to do. If that game plan is in place, they're like, we have to wait 2 years. We average your tax return income over the previous 2 years. You have to claim enough income to be able to afford a home you love. And it's backwards. Things are changing. And that personally never sat right with me because I struggled with it personally, and so did my family. Business owners shouldn't have to light money on fire to literally buy a house or buy real estate. And me personally, I wasn't broke. My produce stand, I was thankful to God, thankful to, my dad for putting in the blood, sweat, and tears when I took over his produce stand. We were cash flowing. I just didn't look good on paper. I was writing off a lot of different things. So at the time that I was looking to buy a house, I was running my fresh produce stand after I took it over, like I mentioned, Moholt Fresh Produce, okay? So I wrote off a ton. Equipment, inventory, cost of goods, right? All the produce expenses, my travel expenses, all the different things business owners should write off, and I'm sure you guys are as well. My tax returns, however, didn't reflect reality. To be real with you, I'm not scared to put my income out there. On tax returns, I was claiming like $15,000. Where I live and the location I wanted to buy a property in, that was not enough income. That was most definitely not enough income. So back to what I mentioned, I grew up watching entrepreneurs pour their hearts into building something real. Long hours, big risk, and just essentially smart tax strategies that ended up hindering them in the traditional mortgage system. Instead of asking, what does your tax return say? The bank statement loan, when I got one, asked one question that really stood out and made me realize, since I do mortgages myself, something I wanted to put out there into the world. This is what's actually hitting your bank account every month. Bank statement loans are built for entrepreneurs. All right. We typically average 12 to 24 months of deposits. They look at your real cash flow and not manipulated paper income. All right. That's essentially how I qualified. They were actually looking at my recent 12 months of bank statements, and this was even a seasonal business. I was still able to get qualified, not by changing my business, not by claiming $100,000 on tax returns to be able to afford the property I wanted, to be able to buy the real estate I wanted to invest in. There was finally a loan designed for people like me and you and all the self-employed folks out there watching this. As again, the irony behind this is traditional mortgages reward people who pay the most to Uncle Sam. The solution I came through is pay more in taxes for 2 years, then maybe we'll talk. This is the solution that the traditional bank told me, okay? And it was really backwards because the loan didn't reward me for being irresponsible. It actually rewarded me for being real. When I say that, I mean the bank statement loan, okay? So by finally using the bank statement loan, a loan designed for people like me, business owners, I was actually able to buy my first home. And there's no better feeling to be able to put in your hard-earned work and money into an investment that can lead to generational wealth. So that essentially was the loan that helped me buy my first home. Same business, same write-offs, same hustle. The only difference was the strategy. So me personally, I do mortgages, and I want to put this video out there to let all the self-employed business owners out there know it is doable. Investment homes, second homes, your primary homes. The only difference is instead of being fixated into a traditional loan box, we expand our horizon into products like a bank statement loan, as I'm speaking on today, and how I bought my first home. We also have profit and loss loans, 1099 loans, people that are out there, freelancers, gig workers. The difference here is strategy. So if you've been thinking about buying real estate, feel free to reach out to me. The Calendly link in the description. I also have my Instagram in the description. You can shoot me a DM. We can hop on a call if it does make sense and this is something you want to do. And I'm on a mission to help other entrepreneurs do the same thing. This hits my heart because I went through it and so did my family. Okay, so if you're self-employed, your problem probably isn't income. It's that you're being judged by the wrong standard. Your deposits matter, of course. Your cash flow matters. But you shouldn't have to become a bad business owner to become a homeowner. All right, so if you're a business owner wondering if this could work for you, start with a conversation with me. Comment bank, set up a Calendly call in the link description, or DM me on Instagram and I'll tell you if bank statement loans make sense for your situation, okay? If this helped you, like this video, subscribe, and share it with another entrepreneur who's been told, not yet, you don't qualify, you can't do this, wait 2 years. All right, so entrepreneurs don't fail to buy homes because they don't make money. They fail because no one ever showed them the right way to qualify. I hope this video helped. I look forward to explaining more in the future videos to come.